A very happy new year to all the viewers of On Point. On the very first working day of 2023, the Supreme Court, by a 4:1 verdict, has held that the government was right in its views and its decision on demonetization.
वर्तमान में जारी 500 रुपए और 1000 रुपए के करेंसी नोट लीगल टेंडर नहीं रहेंगे.
And this is so significant that it is good that we start this year's edition of On Point with this episode. On Monday morning, a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court held by a 4:1 majority that the government was in its rights to issue the demonetization notification of November 8, 2016. What it said was that the notification was not liable to be struck down on ground of proportionality. That means that the government was doing what it was right and the order was suitable to what was supposed to be executed. Also, the court said that the powers under section 26(2) of the RBI Act can be used to denotify a whole series of banknotes. Now, these were the two issues on which the legal challenge to the demonetization order of November 8 was mounted. And the court said that the government is right. In other words, the government, when it denotified the 500 rupee and the 1000 rupee note, the government was acting within its powers. It had held due deliberation with the Reserve Bank of India as the currency issuing authority, and everything in legally was therefore kosher. It's a very big achievement, or should we say a very big testament to the Government of India's orders on denotification of these notes. Demonetization per se, there is a major issue of what it set out to do. Remember, demonetization was the most dramatic economic action taken by the India government in a very long time, and that is what we are explaining out here, that there was two parts to it. The one was the announcement effect of a central government scheme, order, project, whatever you call it, and the implication of that in terms of a public policy. The third is, of course, what has been the economic knowledge or the economic research that has followed this demonetization.
In November of 2016, the Prime Minister announced a policy to root out the black money. And so overnight, 86% of the currency disappeared.
Let's look at first at the announcement effect. Now, Government of India throughout the last few decades have been announcing schemes or projects, and the common examination of them or the common accusation against them was that most of them do not reach out or catch the imagination of the population. Demonetization did. This was a very significant achievement, I would say, of a new government which was trying to create its own benchmark. It caught the imagination, it caught the eye, that it was willing to take risks. This was something that came at a cost, but the cost, as it turned out, was more in terms of the opposition. The opposition miscalculated the effect that demonetization would have on the population. What it did instead was actually buttress the government's reputation that it can do things, and this has helped, as subsequent years and elections have shown. The demonetization was an example that the Narendra Modi government was willing to go the full length to achieve what he thought was the right decision. In terms of public policy, it soon became apparent that demonetization was not all that it set out to be. In fact, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code and the UPI have both been far more effective in terms of formalization of the economy, in terms of lighting up areas of the economy which were earlier under cover. And finally, of course, a few months after demonetization, the much bigger thought through experiment, the goods and services tax, really did all the demonetization wanted to do plus a lot more. Those have been the game changers in the Indian economy. And in retrospect, it is evident that in terms of public policy, demonetization was quite short-sighted. But demonetization was politically long-sighted, and that is what it did for this government. And that's all from this issue of 1 Point. Thank you.